You're the bad guy in someone's story. Pal, I'm the bad guy in my story. A human hand touched every brick in every building you see. Mary the chimpanzee begs to differ. Pizza should have poison in the sauce and the antidote in the crust to kill off those weird people that don't eat the crust. What are you thinking about in that shower? The lottery wasn't invented to catch time travelers. People without glasses are really out here seeing for free. Oh my. I really do have to pay to see. What the fuck? Most straight men flirt more with their homies than they do with women. If I don't, who will? Life is just a hallucination caused by breathing oxygen. Because when you stop breathing it, everything goes away. Shits are crazy. Your body goes in one hole and out three. Excuse me? Antarctica probably has the highest average IQ of any continent. I'm gonna go there and balance it out. Taxes are essentially just a yearly subscription to the country you live in. Childhood is the free trial. Oddly accurate. Candles are how we keep fires as pets. This is unnecessarily adorable. Gummy worms have more bones in them than actual worms. We don't have voluntary control over our internal organs because our brains don't trust us enough to keep ourselves alive. Gets dumped once. Shut them down, girl. It's over. When self-driving cars become mainstream, dead old people will occasionally just arrive places. It's not delivery, it's dead people. It's weird to think that nighttime is the natural state of the universe, and daytime is only caused by a nearby, radiating ball of flame. Don't mess me up like this. There is a high probability that someone hates you because someone else lied to them about you. There's an even higher probability I don't care. If 2222 falls on a Tuesday, it could be also known as Tuesday. Dude, based on genital structure, men should really be the ones wearing skirts, and women should be wearing pants. The Scottish were right all along. The Scots did it to hide more knives on their body. The Scots were right all along. We don't check the refrigerator multiple times to find new food. We check to see if our standards have dropped enough to eat what was available. A pregnant woman has 8 limbs, and is, therefore, an arachnid. In a way, your body is just advertisement for your sperm/egg. Fire my marketing department. When you walk into a room, an amount of air equal to the volume of your body moves out of the room. I just imagine a bunch of ghosts having a party and a big guy walks into a room. So the biggest ghost grumbles and walks out reluctantly. An assassin is really just a serial killer who takes requests. Excuse you, they take commissions. Hey man, can you kill this guy? Alright, that'll be 10k. Can't you just do it for the exposure? Whatever, you suck at murder anyway. You always think you're special until you have to pick a username. Not the belt. I usually base mine off of traumatic childhood memories. B, P, D, and Q are the same letter and no one talks about it. Maybe dogs lick us so much because they know that there's bones beneath our skin. This is the worst one by far, thanks. We named other planets in our solar system after gods, but we name our own planet Dirt. Gold star for that moment of self-awareness. Your bed is probably just as happy to see you as you are to see it. Here comes the warmth slab, it thinks. It would be great if your body could store sleep hours. Like sleep for 16 hours, and then you get to stay up for 2 days without getting tired. Air conditioning is just domesticated wind. I hate this because it's right. Both concrete and glass are mostly made of sand, which makes skyscrapers just really tall sandcastles. You can be a night owl and an early bird if your sleep schedule's messed up enough. Saying that you speak without an accent is like saying your research paper was not typed in a font. When you're still learning the basics of a language, your accent is in Comic Sans. If senators were real, the bottom half would probably start walking around immediately after being born, while the top half would be all floppy for the first 2 years. The person who first discovered that coconuts could be eaten must have experienced depths of hunger many will never know. They probably just saw some other animal doing it, man. You mean like the coconut crab, which naturally feeds on coconuts by breaking them open with large claws? Coconut crab. I sneep, I break the coconut, I eat the coconut. Some dude. Knowing you have the day off is more relieving than the actual day off. Getting divorced and remarried is like starting a game over so you can go with the mage instead of the warrior. My wife leaving me is like a video game. Toddlers are like velociraptors. They screech a lot and get way more dangerous when they figure out how to open doors. However, unlike a velociraptor, I can punt a toddler across a room and will not hesitate to do so. I have great news. You can, in fact, punt a velociraptor, but at what cost? What really blows my mind is that NASA is able to receive data from a 4.6 billion miles far away spacecraft, while I lose Wi-Fi signal once I move to the kitchen. NASA, what's your Wi-Fi password? How exactly was this a shower thought? I remembered it in the shower. When shower, do you shower? Facing the shower head, facing away. It really depends on where Bonnie from FNAF is located in my bathroom. Because there are always pregnant people, the average number of skeletons in a body is higher than 1. I never needed to think about this, but now I'm reblogging it and all of you can suffer as well. I just went through the 5 stages of grief at warp speed. In Japan, radiation creates monsters. Godzilla. and in America, radiation creates superheroes. Shockingly, it's almost like Japan and America have very different narratives surrounding nuclear fallout. Now, if we could all think very, very hard, maybe someone could think of why this might be. Is the Kool-Aid Man, the jar, or the liquid? Thoughts? Are we flesh or blood? You buffoon. You clown. You absolute candlestick. Maybe we're all playable characters in a cosmic video game, and the fridge is the save point, which is why we all sort of open it, look inside, and then wander off without eating anything. Why would my player pick someone depressed and broke? Like, what? Maybe they just haven't finished leveling you up. Some players like a challenge. Maybe you're a hard mode character. If I wrote a book titled How to Fail, and it never sold a single copy, it would be a success. Let's all take a moment and thank biology that our internal organs don't itch. Fun fact, digestion is actually really painful, but your brain just tells you it's fine. The same way it tells you not to bite off your fingers, even though you can. That's frustrating. 11 babies have been born in Antarctica, and none of them died as infants. Meaning, Antarctica has the lowest infant mortality rate at 0. We don't know what's the most successful lie in history, because it's still being believed. If you like milk chocolate, but don't like dark chocolate, you actually like sugar more than chocolate. If you like pickles, but don't like cucumbers, you actually like vinegar more than cucumbers. If you like roasted chicken, but not raw chicken, you actually like the heat from your oven more than the chicken. Lasers were once a huge scientific breakthrough. Now we use them to play with CADs. Computers were once a huge scientific breakthrough. Now we use them to look at CADs. Conclusion: science was made for CADs. There's probably a lot of guys who like small boobs, than girls who like small peepees. I wonder why you thought of that in the shower. Everyone has their private time. Some shorter than others. How long does someone have to be dead before it's considered archaeology instead of grave robbing? As an archaeologist, I find this a very awkward question. Answer the question, grave robber. If we buried our dead vertically instead of horizontally, we would save a ton of space. If you get cremated, you give up any chance of taking part in a future zombie apocalypse. I read this as, if you get creamed, and was thoroughly confused. No Nut November is causing fellas to hallucinate. Somewhere in the world, someone has your dream job, and they hate it. The word none is just the letter N doing a cartwheel. How does a human even think of this? There are parents born after 2000. You don't need a parachute to go skydiving. You need a parachute to go skydiving twice. Squirrels are just rats that have learned parkour. What if deja vu is the result of you dying and being reloaded to an earlier save point? Pixar is the version of Disney that just wants to tell the story without people singing every 10 minutes. If you're aroused by dirty talk, your nuts are technically voice activated. The main reason most of us stay up late is because we don't want our free time to end and tomorrow to start. Hiding drugs on a dog would lower your chances of getting caught significantly. The police/security guards would probably think that the drug-sniffing dog is just excited to see another dog. If you went to Mars, declared war, and then made peace, you technically achieved world peace. You would get the same result if you killed everyone. Are Medusa's leg hairs tiny snakes? Now we're asking the real questions. One day, you will place your last Minecraft block. Is this a threat? There are most definitely singles in your area. Pretty sure they look nothing like the ads though. And they absolutely do not want to see me. Damn, sucks to be you guys. Music is just wiggling air. Don't do this. Don't do this to me today. And color is just wiggling light. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Artists and musicians are just magicians of the wiggle. An artist's best quality, their wiggles. 2019 is going to be the midpoint in 1969 to 2069. Every machine is a smoke machine if you operate it wrong enough. I'm going to show this to my production manager and watch her head explode. Do deaf people understand puns? Are there some combinations of sign language which are hilarious? Signing the word milk when moving past your eyes is pasteurized milk. Past your eyes milk. In the event of a zombie apocalypse, necrophilia would become an extreme sport. You say that like it's already not one. And the name is Please Downvote Me Dad. There was a time not so long ago where we had to physically mail our funny videos to a television show and hope they chose to share it with viewers. Why do hurricanes have such soft names, like Jose? Name that thing Death Megatron 3000 and I bet you everyone's out. The child of a mermaid and a senator has a 1 in 4 chance of being a normal human, and a 1 in 4 chance of being a seahorse. Why don't Jedis turn off their opponent's lightsaber by force pressing the button? I'm laughing because instead of the epic lightsaber fight, they would just be aggressively switching them off and on. Can you imagine? Every computer needs a cleaning keyboard mode, where the keys would be inactive or you wipe them down. Why not just clean it while the computer is shut down? While the computer is what now? If you wore a VR headset linked to a camera drone that was set to follow you from a few feet behind you, you could live in third person, disassociating. If you can't disassociate naturally, stop Sport is fine. Mind reading would be really annoying because you would hear all the songs stuck in people's heads. What if when you die, you go into spectator mode, and you can fly around and view life through others' eyes in first person? Or just chill until the match ends, you know? Well, if this is true, whoever's in my eyes, can you please fuck off? I don't appreciate it. Thanks. You don't fully appreciate Pac-Man until you too are desperately trying to find the right pill that will make the murder ghosts go away for a while. The singular form of mice is mouse. Shouldn't the singular form of lice be louse? Oh man, I have the best news for you, my friend. Since the voice of OG Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse are married, there is a good chance they did the deed and did the voice at the same time. Oh boy! Whoever created the tradition of not seeing the bride in the wedding dress beforehand saved countless husbands everywhere from hours of dress shopping, and will forever be a hero to all men. Leather armor is the best for sneaking because it's literally made of hide. Teenage girls saying, I can't even. It's basically the same as old ladies saying, well, I never. This is messing with my head. Every odd number has an E in it. Listen, people in movies who hold their handguns sideways so that their 8 bullets can turn into infinity. Paper has 6 sides, yet we can only use 2 of them effectively. The other 4 are for bloodshed. Somewhere in the world, there is a tree that sprouted the same day you were born and has been growing alongside with you. If the devil has a pitchfork and the grim reaper has a scythe, is agriculture a main industry in the underworld? It took me 23 years to realize that be there or be square is because you're not around. No, don't play me like this. The 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s seem to all have separate, unique personalities, but these last 17 years seem to just be one big chunk of time that has no significant meaning. Finally, someone said it. These last 17 years have a, oh no, feeling that just gets bigger and louder with each consecutive year. Among Us is a wonderful way to show the full ability of eyewitness accounts. Okay students, next we're going to read The Crucible, but first we're going to spend an hour playing Among Us on the school Wi-Fi. I saw Goody Proctor vent in Medbay. Maybe dogs like to fetch sticks because our ancestors threw spears to hunt wild animals, so they made dogs go fetch them for faster reload. This post was so close not to being about video game. Gonna point out reloading something is in fact a real concept that exists outside of video games. For some reason, we're scared of looking into the abyss of the ocean when it's only a few miles deep, but we're completely fine looking into the nearly infinite abyss of space. In fact, most of us find it calming. Gravity doesn't drag me upwards into the unforgiving maw of the cosmos. Not yet. Y'all pee in the shower? How else am I going to wash my feet? With your tongue, like a normal person. Oh, Reddit, never change. They weren't planning on. If you wash the dirt from a fallen ice cube, you are washing your water with water, and hope that there's only water on the water that you will add to your water. But what if I'm drinking tea? Who puts ice in their tea? Oh shit, it's a British person. Take your iced tea and run. 99% of the human population, alive or dead, doesn't know you exist. Spider-Man wouldn't be nearly as cool if his webs shot out of his butt, like an actual spider. For once, I would like to see an action movie where halfway through it, the hero dies, and we get to see what the villain does when he conquers the world. You are not a person, you are a brain. You just control the meat suit. Isn't it weird in movies, sometimes when there's a fight on top of a truck, yet all the cars behind them will be driving like normal? Like, this is really messed up, but I'm not going to be late for work. 6-ton monster with spikes and a giant tentacle growing out of its face. Sounds way creepier than elephants actually are. What's on your mind? If a baby is born at 1:59 AM, and then the twin is born 2 minutes later, but the clocks went back so now it's 1:01 AM, which is older? Because the one born second will be older on paper, but the one born first is actually 2 minutes older. Telling someone you are shit and you ain't shit are both insults, but you are not shit is a reassurance, and you are not the shit is an insult, and you are the shit is a compliment. I present to you the English language. The bigger your shoes, the bigger the pee-pee. The bigger your car, the smaller your pee-pee. No wonder people are so afraid of clowns. You made me read this with my innocent eyes. Child gates are the equivalent of blocked off areas in video games due to your character's level. What does it mean? My nephew just bowls them over with his massive baby body. Speedrun stats. The opposite of a firewall is a waterfall. You would not believe your walls if 10 million waterfalls filled up your house and fucking drowned you, because they fill the open air and leave water everywhere. Are you Bruno Mars? There are 2 kinds of people. Those who think, I don't want anyone to suffer like I did, and those who think, I suffered, why shouldn't they? This is an important distinction. The only thing separating you from certain death at 65 miles per hour is a painted white line and a mutual agreement to not play bumper cars. If gas prices keep going up, it will be cheaper to do a white drug, which is a powder, and run everywhere. Finally, a good shower thought. I can't think of a single apocalypse or plague movie that's anticipated the run on toilet paper. I can't believe a supernatural GIF is applicable to 2020 events. This is definitely the worst possible timeline. Fun fact, some people have an internal narrative and some don't. As in, some people's thoughts are like sentences they hear, and some people just have abstract, non-verbal thoughts and have to consciously verbalize them. And most people aren't aware of the other type of person. No one finds it creepy that Professor Utonium, a single middle-aged man, was trying to create little girls at all. He's just a socially awkward scientist who wanted the opportunity to be a parent. They don't like to let single parents adopt children, so he decided to make children in his lab. He was a good father. You leave this wonderful man alone. I realized if I take a shower before a match, I play better. New meta for gamers. Taking a shower. This is the face of someone performing a public service by tricking guys into actually having good hygiene. How old were you when you found out that each character in Winnie the Pooh represents a different mental disorder? Pooh, impulsivity. Piglet, anxiety. Roo, autism. Tigger, ADHD. Eeyore, depression. Rabbit, OCD. Kanga, social anxiety. Owl, dyslexia. Calling your significant other honey is immensely romantic. Honey never spoils, meaning your honey never stops being beautiful. Even if only 1% of the world finds you attractive, that's still 74,420,000 people who find you attractive. At the end of Infinity War, there was probably a clueless mother who was wondering where her child is and decided to vacuum their room because there was too much dust. At least she has contained him in an airtight container with dirt and hair. Santa uses quantum physics to deliver everyone in just one night. Provided no one observes him, he can be in multiple chimneys at the same time. When people brokenly speak a second language, they sound less intelligent, but are actually more knowledgeable than most for being able to speak a second language at all. The spiders that live in Buckingham Palace now are probably the descendants of the spiders that lived during the Victorian times. It's a whole parallel royal family, but with spiders. We were currently in that annoying stage of Plague Inc., where there is a pop-up every 10 seconds saying a country has shut down their borders or is quarantining the infected. Mammals both produce milk and have hair. Ergo, a coconut is a mammal. I know you're being facetious, but this is an actual issue. With morphology-based phylogeny, leans over and whispers to person beside me. What are they talking about? Leans over and whispers back. Human ability to quantify and categorize natural phenomena is sketchy at best and wildly misleading at worst. Considering the coconut, this reminds me of that time Plato defined humans as featherless bipeds, and Diogenes ran in with a plucked chicken screaming, "Behold a man!" You get on a bus or train, but you get in a car or taxi. How to not mix them up, for those who might be learning English. If you walk upright when boarding, you're getting on. If you sit into a seat from the door, you're getting in. So, for example, you can also get on a plane or boat, and in a carriage. Oh, that is a good distinction. See, look, I also educate people on my channel. This is not just for memes, it's also education. Subscribe if you love learning!